Recording is on.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Motherhood Challenge discussion. This month, I'm chatting to Dani Maibaum. Maibaum.
That's close. Maibaum.
Maibaum.
That's fine.
Dani. So me and Dani met in a photography festival called Snap. And we met because we were sharing a tent together. So we for the whole weekend, which was brilliant. Got very fun memories, and I'm a big fan of your work.
Oh, thank you.
So thanks for joining us today. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I'm at the end.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Everyone has seen. There we are. Right. I'm going to share my screen like this. Okay. Can you see that?
I can.
Perfect. Okay, so this month's challenge was the self-portrait. Every month when I announce the challenge, Dani, I do like a half-hour kind of Zoom session, like what we're doing now, and I go through kind of ideas and tips and stuff like that. And when I announced it was self-portrait, everyone's face was just like, oh, head in the hat. It's like, no. It has been a really challenging subject, as you can imagine. When I first announced it, we were looking at why people do self-portraits, and going back in the day when painters used to do it, there were many reasons, and one of them was that they used it as a calling card to kind of show people what they did. So this is where I kind of went. I tried lots of different things, as many of the women in here did, and I tried a little bit of nudity, which definitely didn't work for me. I was trying to embrace it, definitely didn't want to embrace it. So this was my self-portrait just in my office. I'm actually really pleased with it. It's not deep or meaningful so much, but it's definitely a portrait of me in my office, which I'm pleased with, and I'll definitely keep. And my kids will probably see it they'll have it in future and stuff. So to the work of the wonderful students, we're going to start off with Tanya Louise.
Lovely.
So let me know, let me know your thoughts on this picture, this self-portrait.
Oh, I just want to know what she's laughing at.
Absolutely.
It kind of draws you in on it, and I think where the level is, it's kind of like you sat on the floor.
Yeah.
Sort of having that kind of connection, which I quite like.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, it's like you're sat with her, actually, like you are the camera.
Exactly. Yeah, I think so. That's my kind of initial thought. So yeah, and I think
what I really liked about this one actually was like a lot of them are quite deep. Not many are smiling, and for me, self-portrait is about that, a bit more like that. But Tanya's totally turned it on the head, and she's letting herself laughing, which obviously captures her character and whatever she's she's trying to express her character, or she's probably thinking, this is bloody ridiculous, Philippa. Why are you making me do this? So yeah, I really like that, Tanya. Well done. Really, really good picture. Right, so we're going to move on now to Stacey.
Oh, I think this is really interesting. I really think the composition's quite it's jarring almost, but that's what makes it interesting. And you've got this kind of tree that's encroaching in on that space, but it's almost like protected in her bubble from the spooky tree. I'm probably reading into this like mad, and I kind of like the cool treatment, the kind of colder kind of colour cast that's there. It's really interesting. And I just like how the kind of camera. Oh, what kind of camera is that? It's just very visible as well. So yeah, it's really engaging.
Yeah, that's it's actually she actually used her phone. Most of them have these big girl cameras, but Stacey did this, and she was like, you know what, I'm just going to throw it in, which I'm really glad that she did. I'd never seen it like that actually, but it is almost like she's protected in this bubble. Like the kind of haunting trees in the background. It's really interesting.
Yeah,
and it's kind of got a blue tone to it, hasn't it? It's quite cold, quite. It's not warm. It's it's got like a horror element. Sorry.
Yeah.
Imagine some zombies coming out behind her or something.
Yeah, so the mirror's kind of like cracked there as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love that. It's cool.
Oh wow, I'd never seen any of that in it. Oh, that's brilliant. This is why it's really good chatting to other artists.
Oh gosh, and you can see so many different layers depending on who you talk to as well. So yeah.
Right, moving on. Creeper.
Ooh. Oh, I love how this is split down the middle. It's really strong composition, and this is probably how I'd probably approach stuff.
Yeah, you like your straight line, don't you?
But straight on, quite symmetrical. But I like how they have each character or each subject has their own space within that frame.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. It's very very precise photograph. It's definitely not an accident the way it's been kind of delivered. I love the black and white. And the cat is just bloody gorgeous.
Oh yes, obviously.
Yeah. No, I really like that. And yeah, exactly what you said. Like they've both got their panel.
And I think also it just there's an element. It brings a bit of narrative there. It's like, well, what are they looking at, or what are they thinking? What are they both thinking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just it's quite reflective, or a bit what's the word? Yeah, reflective.
Probably really reflective of this time right now that we're all in as well, you know, with lockdown and, you know, behind the window, you know, looking out, looking for adventure. Yeah, really good. Well done, Creeper. Okay, Nadine.
Ooh, she's taking up all the space, being really confrontational in this self-portrait. Quite like that, but not in a confrontational like bad way. It's just like straight into the camera.
Yeah.
Very close up, and I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if I think she might be on a 50mm, Nadine. I'm not sure what she's on. But yeah, she's very tight and actually very low depth of field. Just one eye is in focus.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting choice. Oh gosh, when I worked in a studio, I could keep this really brief. Like I would have got, my hand slapped for not having both eyes in focus. But I just, which makes me want to shoot more at a wide aperture these days, just to be what's the word? Yeah, just to be a bit rebellious.
Rebel against your studio days.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, she's looking straight into your soul here. So yeah, I like that confrontation.
Yeah. No, I do as well. Okay, we're moving on. Ellie Sharps.
No. Yeah, I think this is I like the kind of layers that you've got in this one.
Yeah, I love the layers, and I love the fact he's lit by the TV. And she's just in the background. Just the composition for me works really well. I mean, if I was being super picky, I might not want like the way he's overlay it like on top of her arm kind of thing.
Oh yeah, just separate them.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking Ellie. Please don't take any of this like such tiny details for me. Yeah, it's such a honest, true documentary. What's going on?
You know what? Like, there's almost got an element of Crewdson to it as well. Gregory Crewdson.
Oh yes.
You know, just with the glow on his face, and like that kind of desaturate some of the colours that kind of
it is desaturated.
But and it's almost, when I first had a little look at this before, when I just had the preview, I was like, oh, I'm not sure about the composition. I don't know if it's awkward, but actually I like how he's so close to that part of the frame. You can't, it's possibly TV, but I like how kind of it's a bit disjointed.
Did the composition jar it for you? Did it?
When I first looked at it, it did a little bit, and I just think.
No, it's really interesting. It's really good getting different opinions, because it is because for me, I don't know, the composition works so well because she's so like long in the background.
But this is going against my instinct. That's all. So at first I was like, oh, maybe I do it differently, but that's not what this is about. But I like how you led in from her legs, and you kind of led into that end point. Yeah.
No, I think it's I think story-wise it's so strong. Like it could be 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And your kid can't sleep, and it's like, okay, let's just shove the bloody telly on, whatever. Yeah. But you've flopped that, and the kid is still active. For me, it's got a very strong story attached.
Yeah.
Okay. Lucy Marshall.
Ooh, this is very nice.
Yes, I thought you'd like this one.
Yeah, I think I like how you can see the part of the camera. Just
yeah, you know what? I'd never noticed that before.
just because it gives it a little bit of that extra bit of like narrative, a little bit. I think
that it's her taking the picture.
I like it peeping in because it's showing that she's a photographer as well. So it's kind of getting that bit of that little clue, especially self-portraits. You might be you're looking for clues, like even if it's documentary or more portrait style, you're always trying to kind of find that element,
that hidden meaning and clues of who that person is, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
And interestingly, Lucy is she grows flowers, so I think that's probably why she used it. So it's like a great use of prop for her, at least.
Absolutely. And then it's just it invites questions of why slightly obscured, and like that kind of looking through a mirror kind of gives it another level or another layer again. So yeah, it's interesting.
I really like that. I like the simplicity of it's like on a white wall. It's almost like it could look like a picture of a painting or something. Like, I mean, we know it's a mirror because we know it's a self-portrait and we can see the camera, but it could also not be that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Belen.
Oh, look at that lighting.
Oh, I thought you'd like that.
Chiaroscuro, or how am I meant to say it? I can't say it. Yeah, it's quite again like another engaging image, and you can't see. I'm pointing to my screen, but I like how you can kind of almost cut it in diagonal, that like part of the
like here
table. Yes, I think that composition's really there you go.
Yeah, just down there.
That's really nice. And then that lighting just coming from the top down is stunning. It's really, really gorgeous lighting. And
I mean, the light on her face is just, it's, I don't know, it's almost like theatre or something, isn't it? And it's quite filmic, I wasn't sure when I first saw it, mind. Like here, her hand looks lovely, but here it just looks a little bit, I don't know, like you're not sure what's coming out of her chin type of thing.
Yeah, oh my gosh, hands are so hard because
they're very difficult.
The rule is try not get your palm of your hand, but you can see every angle of that hand.
Oh, is that the rule? I never knew.
Not the rule. Oh my gosh, yeah, just
your rule. Tell us your rule, Dani.
Yeah, like if you're doing product photography or stuff like that, or if you are directing somebody, that's just a nicer side.
Oh, that's really interesting. Well, maybe that's what because I was thinking what it would look like if it was this side, but perhaps then that would
definitely change that. Yeah, it's tricky.
Exactly. Yeah. But I really, like you, love the composite, love the colours as well. Like the browns, her silver hair. All that is, and even what she's wearing. It's very beautiful photo. Okay, Elisa.
Oh, brilliant. Oh yeah, I love her expression. I love the kind of elements of chaos in the background.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's another cooler tone, another cooler. You've got a bit of that kind of lighting in the background where the door is, but it's very cool.
Do you think it's too cool? I was thinking, so Lisa, if you wanted to warm this up, when you're in your edit, you can go to temperature and just warm up the image a little bit. I think it probably looks extra cool also because she's wearing blue. So for those who don't know, cool means blue and warm means like orangey. And I think just because you're wearing blue as well, it looks a lot more cooler. But sorry, what were you going to say, Dani?
Well, I mean that kind of that cooler tone might be a choice due to kind of what might be wanting to be portrayed in this image, because I think she's again like got a confrontational sort of look. So I guess, you know, maybe it's a choice of what she's saying about the kind of the narrative here. So but I think it works. I think it works, that coolness in this instance. But you might just crop it where that warm, where the
really here.
Yeah, just so
yeah,
ever so slightly, just to get that kind of one or the other. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'd try it just to see what it would look like.
Well, this will be interesting for the motherhooders because I personally wouldn't crop it. I like the narrative of I don't know, like something else going on next door. So and this is what I keep telling everyone is everyone's opinion is very different, and photography is also a matter of style. So it's really great hearing your you know, what you would do kind of thing compared to what I would do. And interesting that you said you'd keep it cool, and maybe that was her choice. And you know, like early morning is often quite blue, and you know, so again this kind of the blueness almost shares the time of day. For me, it feels.
One final thing, I really like the composition because it's all, you can see the kind of a triangle, like the little
like here.
Yeah, I like that. I think that makes it very strong image as well.
Yeah. No, I do. I mean, yeah, for me,
lose if you cropped it.
Say again.
Which you would lose if you cropped it.
Which you'd lose if you cropped it. But there we are. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I love it. It's a really strong image. It's very real. It's very honest. I love her expression, that it's expressionless almost. And I think it's a photograph that she will look back on years to come and really remember this time right now. You know, I regret not kind of taking self-portraits now looking at this when I was, you know, when my kids were a lot younger and stuff. So yeah, well done, Elisa. Really, really good job. Okay, Tracy.
Ooh, this is really interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I really like the choice of it, the kind of droplets being in focus.
Yeah.
Now I just
I've never really cut, like, the droplets there, that's what's in focus and she's out of focus.
But I think that makes it quite enigmatic. Can't speak now.
That's all right. Yeah,
ability to speak. So, you know, is that saying something about, you know, her as a person? Because you can create any kind of narrative and any concept that you want through a self-portrait, and I guess if you start reading into it, you might think about those choices and what they might be.
Oh, that's definitely food for thought, actually. Yeah. I wonder. Good question. Maybe let's the questions that arise, we should definitely the students should definitely think about them and maybe try and answer it. I think that's such a good question.
And also, I think, you know, I don't think there's something about her looking up into that light as well. It's just like not necessarily being in a shower. It's just got, oh god, this is going to sound weird, and I'm a weird.
Go. This is good.
It's kind of like a bit of a sci-fi vibe to it, and I really like that. It's kind of got kind of a future.
like she's going to be beamed up or something.
Yeah, or just it looks quite modern, the kind of tiles in the background, and it's just that could be anywhere. That could be absolutely anywhere. So yeah, I think it's it opens up lots of questions.
Oh, Tracy, well done. Very, very, very good. Sophie.
Lovely bit of window light there. I like that a lot.
See, everyone's getting quite into their window light, because I think that's where I'm at the moment, and I know you're a big fan, Dani, aren't you?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the crop's interesting as well. There's not really loads of clues apart from the kind of lamp there, so it kind of draws me in and wants me to sort of know more about this person, and again clearly having like a contemplative moment. And maybe it's like a lockdown, that kind of you're inside looking out sort of motif.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. My only one thing, and Sophie will know this because I spoke to her, is I feel like it's cropped too tightly on the right, just because it's cropping her toes off. And you know, there obviously, like, there's always a reason, and her reason was, you know, there's a bloody shop down there, which, you know what I mean. So it spoilt it. But I mean,
I love the edit on this as well. It's
absolutely
just really lovely tones.
Yeah, the tones are just. It's like a book cover or something, isn't it? It's just. I love the window light, the tones, the soft. You know, even what she's wearing, like everything's, and even like, you know, the house in the background or the shop in the background, like everything's got that same tone.
Where are you? It looks like almost like a bit of a seaside vibe going on.
I think Sophie's in Wallingford, so which is Oxford. Yeah.
It's a bit nosy.
Yeah, no, nose away, but no seaside. We're the furthest away from the sea in Oxford. Right, well done, Sophie. Okay, Sarah.
Oh, I love how that the mirror's just sitting on the bottom of the frame there. It's just really satisfying.
Oh, it's so satisfying. Like, Sarah was one of the first people to kind of get on it, and yeah, we were all like, wow, okay, the level is pretty high.
Oh my gosh, the level is absolutely, really high. And I love how neutral it is, and how much kind of white space, and how that kind of and it kind of reminds me almost like the golden ratio curve.
Yeah.
Which.
But you know all your curves. Are you like, you know, are you graphic design background or something?
Oh gosh, I wish that would be so. I only know this at graphic golden ratio because I'm always trying to work on my composition and make it more interesting, because mine tend to kind of fall a little bit flat sometimes. So I'm always trying to work on that a little bit. So
that's interesting.
I'm trying to look at the spiral and make that work, but I'm getting there. I can't. If I could laser it onto my eye, so if I looked at the world, the ratio would work. But yeah, it's super satisfying, and I like her expression. It's really contemplative again, but just simplicity is really hard to do. Yeah. Really hard.
But when it's nailed, it's the most effective in all arts, I think. Also, I think simplicity in the colour in this one as well. You know, like her hair, her jumper, and the rim of the mirror are just one colour. You know, so it's black and white in many ways.
Oh yeah, I wonder what that would look like, black and white, but do like the kind of soft pink kind of tone.
Yeah. Oh, well done, Sarah. Really good. Emily.
Wow. Ooh, love a bit of harsh light. Harsh light is so hard to do.
Yes.
Harsh light is so hard to do. I'm just having a little close. Is that a tear or is that glitter in the kind of reflective bit? Am I just looking into it too much?
I don't know. Emily, are you crying? She struggled, so she could be crying right now.
Gosh, oh my God.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's a bit of glitter.
Yeah, again, I think there's just something to do with that kind of, when your eye is led in that way to like a direct address, you know, it really does draw you in. And I think the dark and the light, that harsh light, is something technically really hard to do.
Yeah.
I suppose I'd like to know a little bit more maybe, but that's really hard to know more when you get a tight crop, isn't it?
But that's interesting in itself. Like, why is it a tight crop? Is it because
what's missing?
Revealing herself perhaps was difficult, or like it definitely raises questions. I think it's a very strong image, but like a lot of them raise questions, and sometimes you want more, just more hint of who this person is.
And I think the composition as well is great, because it kind of like the dead center, that's where the kind of light kind of comes out, kind of angle. So that's,
I mean, the light's brilliant, the way it's literally chopped off her nose, like, so you just see this bit here. It's just it's very, very effective. Well done, Emily. Okay, Zoe.
oh, this is lovely. Nice black and white tones. Really lovely kind of oh god, I've contradicted myself. I was like, there's kind of a vulnerability there, but like real strength as well.
Yeah, no, I think Zoe would probably totally hear you when you say that. Yeah, I totally agree.
And I think that kind of composition is really nice. I like her arms sort of being parallel. One of the things that I can't nail at all is just like, what do I do with my arms, and how do I look not like a total weirdo or awkward? And it's just really, I like that kind of, it gives it a bit. I think that's where the strength lies as well. That kind of strong, kind of parallel between those two. But yeah, beautiful tones. Really nice.
I think really nice. I love your expression, Zoe. It just feels really honest, non-expression, and I think that's probably where, when you say you can see the vulnerability, it's because it's there. There's no what's it called, like facade. Like, this is me. This is who Zoe is, and the strength, obviously, I think, is because she's looking directly into the camera. Again, if I was to be really fussy, Zoe, you know what I'm going to say. I'd probably bring this down just so I've got more of this. Bring it down. But again, I'm talking very, very minute, fussy things.
You could pick anything on any
photograph,
even if it was like, national portrait winner or whatever. There's always going to be something you can pick up on.
But for me, this looks like just a classic. That it was. Could have been
timeless.
Completely timeless.
And also, just one last point, that kind of honesty in a self-portrait, and I think this is why I probably haven't nailed it or pursued it, is really hard.
It's so hard
to just kind of get past your ego and come across as really authentic. And she's absolutely nailed that. So
I so agree with you. I think I tried certain things and it was horrendous. And in the end, I was comfortable in my office. I gave myself a book. Other people have, obviously, some people are breastfeeding or hiding behind something, or, I feel like Zoe's like, she's not hiding behind anything. She's she's presenting herself, which I think is a very brave, honest, and for someone else to look at it, it's such a joy. So well done, Zoe. Carrie Rogers.
This is another strong piece to camera as well as eyes to camera, and there's a lot of not a lot of, but the obscure. It's just like inviting you in more, or wanting to know more about, I think, this person, because you're not giving all of yourself to the camera. And I think that's quite quite like that, because it just gives you a bit of enigma. You're not giving all of yourself away.
It's really interesting going through them all and discussing them, and then realizing themes that everyone has hidden themselves a little bit, or not, or and some looking into camera and some not. It's a great use of light here, Carrie.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, lighting's brilliant. Again, dark to light chiaroscuro, really lovely contrast. Works really well.
Yeah, definitely. Well done, Carrie. Trudy.
Oh wow, I love how she's framed framed her face with her hands.
It's genius. It's just really creative, really.
Oh, it's got some Man Ray vibes going on, a little bit surreal.
Need some like stick on tears or something to Man Ray. I mean, I love this. I love it.
Yeah, don't know what to say. It's awesome.
Just this
different.
Just peeking through. So you've got the peeking through, but it's just lovely that she's using herself. You know, she's using herself to kind of create this. I just think it's really innovative. I can't speak now.
Innovative. And also, you kind of do like, I do that really kind of cliche thing of like, you know, like looking at something and putting it in a frame before you take it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if that's what Judy's doing here, but I think, it's got a real nice kind of playfulness to it as well.
Yeah. Like a film director kind of goes around kind of framing things. Like, she's framing herself.
Yeah,
in her own self-portrait.
It's really clever.
And, you know, her little smile, it's playful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, well done, Trudy. Nichola.
Ooh, cool. This is interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love quite a few things about this, but again, that kind of diagonal line, that kind of cross, the lines are lovely.
Yeah.
In this. And again, just kind of that, allowing that light, allowing that space really draws your eye and you wonder what she's looking at. And that's like, I think, quite metaphorical as well. You've got that darkness behind you, but maybe you're looking towards something that's brighter. And I don't know if that sounds cheesy or not. But,
wow, no, I think Nichola will definitely. That's brilliant that you said that.
Good. Yeah. Because I just think it's there. I think it's you can sort of see that. And gosh, I'm not really eloquent, am I, today?
No. I think you're brilliant. I think, I totally hear you. I feel like it's a very powerful image, and I think there's probably more to this image than maybe she even knows already. I think it's very striking. For me, it looks like a still.
I was just going to say that it's like a film still, and that kind of empty space is, you know, is there an absence of someone in that space? But
no, definitely there's deep story there. Almost a bit Cindy Sherman-y, you know, in that sense of creating kind of a story or a narrative. There's definitely a narrative here, and you know, just the bravery of allowing this to be all black. You know, I just think that's really, you know, and you can see these crinkles here. I just love all the detail in this picture.
And I think Sherman, but also another Gregory Crewdson vibes, which is, you know, he's incredible storyteller, and his use of light is, well, he spends about $100,000 per photo or something ridiculous like that. So if you can achieve that, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, really, really strong work, Nichola. Well done. Okay, Natalie.
Cutie.
I can really see that this is Natalie's daughter. Like they just look so similar.
Yeah, I wonder their expressions. I wonder what I think Natalie looks. You know, the way that she's looking at her daughter. I think you're kind of invited to, you know, think about those feelings there.
Yeah. And this is really interesting. It doesn't look like a self-portrait. It looks like someone else has taken it. And I find it's a self-portrait so interesting. I really like the evidence of, you know, there's obviously an animal in the house.
Yes, and the shoes.
There's a man in the house, perhaps. I mean, they look like men's shoes. I love little bits of evidence in a photo. I think that's really nice. And so, she's married. You can see, you know, like all these little things which you were saying.
story. And again, I just love the fact that they're kind of just sat on the floor as well. It's just like you're kind of on that level, and again, you're invited to play.
Yeah, and the camera's at their level. Is that what you mean?
Exactly, yes. So you're sort of down, and because of that direct address with the little one with the toy dinosaur, it's like you're almost kind of invited into that situation.
Yeah.
Which, you know, at the moment you're kind of really wanting that connection with people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Just the gazes of, you know, that kind of like triangle.
Yes. Yeah.
You're definitely invited to the party here, and you kind of move around between everyone's gaze. So yeah.
Yeah, because she's looking at us, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if those two are interacting, you'd be observing, but there's this triangle here between us as a viewer. Yeah, I mean, I really like this, Natalie. I don't think we've spoken much about this in our WhatsApp group, in our Facebook group, but I'm very, very keen on this picture. Again, if I was to be really critical, I like the headspace here. If just you had a wider lens, or if you could move the camera back a bit, just so you weren't cutting off at the joints almost. Do you know what I mean? Like at ankles. And so I personally would just want a bit more kind of floor space here. But again, as Dani was saying, you know, every picture in the world you can, you know, have little things, niggly things. But I think as a portrait, I think it works so well. Okay, well done, Natalie. Okay, Louise.
Ooh, I like this. Very interesting. And again, that enigma is sort of created, isn't it? Because it's very cropped in, but not at a point where you would look into someone's eyes. But I think you're kind of drawn into that grid.
Yes.
On the neck, and it's
it's really nice, and just the comparison with this dead space, you know, composition, the colours, like all, you know, it's very, very strong.
I love a bit of negative space. So
yeah, me too.
That's really nice, and you just, is it that lockdown aspect as well, where you feel like you're kind of imprisoned?
Yeah.
And you have that kind of grid on you, but you're looking up, you're looking into like another future.
Dani, I'm loving all this. This is great feedback.
And also it's cropped in a really nice place as well, because there'd be a risk that there might be a bit of a end of a nose there or somewhere, but it's like a lovely like mouth cropping just where the mouth is like really brave, and it's
it's very pleasing, isn't it? It's very pleasing composition. Lou's got a very good eye. Louise has got a very good eye for composition, actually. So this is interesting. So she created it by asking her daughter to hold up the laundry basket.
Ah, that's clever.
Genius, isn't it?
Yeah, because if you didn't have that element, it would be a completely different photo.
Absolutely. And everything that you read into it about, you know, almost being behind bars and lockdown, that story would not be there at all. So that's fascinating to hear. Well done, Louise. Victoria.
Oh, cool. Oh, I love how her the children on either side they're almost like perched on her shoulder. On the other side, that's just
and both disengaged, you know, in their own worlds, either side of her shoulder, kind of safely pocketed there.
Yeah, they've had their fill potentially early on if they are. I love the composition of this as well, and the baby's expression is just brilliant.
I mean, I'm
there's a lot going on, and I know I'm kind of like sort of giggling. It's just because she looks exasperated.
A
little bit. I mean, it might be wrong. I might be reading into that wrong, because on the other side of it, she could just be like, she looks quite badass at the same time.
Yeah, I like that. Well, she's probably both, you know, all in one.
Yeah.
I mean, badass is, I just love this photo. I mean, and again, if the baby wasn't crying and you know was sweetly breastfeeding, I don't think it would be as strong.
No.
And if Victoria was looking at her baby, I don't think it'd be strong. I think it's strong because of her. I mean, I think you've called it almost confrontation with the camera. You know, where you're looking into the camera. It's like I'm there with you, or you're acknowledging me, or you know, that there's definitely this connection because she's looking at me. And just the baby crying for me is just like all of it is just so strong.
Yeah. And even with the baby, like with their hair sort of,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like brushed out, it's just like, yeah, I'm having a day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well done, Victoria. Really, really strong image. And again, this image will be heirloom. You know, for years to come, you'll be looking back on this. And again, I very regret taking honest photos of
because you have these like really beautiful, soft focus, black and white breastfeeding images, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that kind of, these are the kind of images that people don't take as well.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right.
And they're just really authentic, and yeah, it's awesome that they've, you know, that Victoria's got this forever now as a document.
Yeah, and so many other women who have been in this situation, you know, already, you know, jump back into this story. So it has a lot of empathy attached to it. I feel anyway. Well done, Victoria. And this is, I think, our last one. Yeah, Lauren.
Well, it's very, very pleasing. This is a really lovely symmetrical composition. I love the colours.
This is a Dani composition, isn't it?
Yeah. And obviously I love plants, so we know. I really love the pooch on the side as well. It's just, you can kind of teleport into this sort of scene.
Yeah. Well, I've just done a masterclass with Helene van Meen, who's an artist photographer, and she's done a series on kind of pooches and kind of youths who've got similar hair.
Oh, wow, brilliant. Yeah, I was just going to say there's like a connection between the hair here as well.
Yeah, similarity there. Yeah, I mean, the colours, the composition, all of it is very, very pleasing. I totally agree with you.
And just the choice of that position as well, it's quite unusual, but
that's true.
This still does tell you a lot about the person, I think. Lauren in the frame, I think there's enough kind of clues around there to tell you about a personality potentially. It's really colourful, really vibrant, super still.
Yeah. And you like this triangle, don't you?
Love the triangle, and also there's a very conscious choice of like putting those colours together and the crochet blanket that way, just draws everything in. So yeah, I think it's a really strong image, and very constructed as well. Which obviously nothing wrong with that at all. It's quite constructed. And then some of the other images that we've seen before are, I mean, they're all quite different, aren't they? Where there's some more documentary in style, and this is more sort of portraiture. So it's really good to see that kind of mixture.
Yeah, definitely. If I was to say anything, Lauren, I would probably have brought the exposure down, because we are blowing out here. But Dani, you might disagree. You might like that.
Technically, I'd probably try and avoid blowing that out and then bring up the shadows.
Right, okay.
It was too dark. So I would agree with you on that one. But it does give this like a really lovely quality.
Bit dreamy, isn't it, at the top?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. That's been so good. Right, I'm going to stop sharing. No, I'm not. I'm raising my hand. Brilliant. Thank you so much for that.
It's awesome.
Lovely going through it all with you. Okay, drum roll. I'm afraid. I know it's going to be really hard.
Oh my God! Hold on. Let me just look for one last time.
Yes, sorry. Yes, get the slides up.
Drum roll. It's really difficult because they're really strong. They're all super duper strong. and there's so much variety.
There is so much
You can see my face still, can't you?
That's yeah, I'll chat for a little bit. There is so much variety, and it's really hard because also what makes a great self-portrait is very personal. I think all of them are technically great, composition are great, you know, so they tick so many boxes. So we do this monthly, and why it is really interesting is to get another artist's just view, because my winner would probably be very different to your winner, to someone else's winner. So and you know, there is no winner or loser, so to speak, but just for fun, we do choose one photo that maybe particularly speaks to you as an artist, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So looks like you're ready.
So my winner is Nichola Philby Nash.
Hey! Oh wow! Right, I'm gonna get it up, and then we'll go back. Oh, Nichola, well done. Let's have a look. There she is. Right, we can just have a little chat about this. Whoop. Where is she?
Oh, there.
There she is. Oh no, that's her sister. Where's Nichola gone? I totally passed her.
Other way.
Where are you, Nichola? There she is.
Hey.
Oh, Dani, that is so lovely to hear. For me, yeah, just this image, it's funny because we have a group, we have a Facebook group, and we all put our thoughts in and what you think is stronger. And obviously, you know, some women, you know, photograph 4 or 5 and they're all really strong. And Nichola actually WhatsApped me last night between this one and another one. And I was like, oh my God, they're both amazing for different reasons. And she's like, well, you're useless. I'm so glad she chose this one. And I'm so glad you chose it as the winner. It's just full of so much.
It's got, again, it's that thing of it being simple, like the simplicity is so hard to nail. But from this, there is so much narrative, and it does look like a still from a film.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just says so much with being really simple. So yeah, I like it.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Dani.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording now if I can, but thank you very much. Let's see if I can.
Bye.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Bye.